waiting for a couple of people to get online. So, and I just want to know if you all can see us very clear. Can you look and see if you can see us very clearly?
I definitely can.
Before we get started. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a good time. Let me start by saying that.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So, my name is Leah Yule, and I'm your host for this afternoon. And I really appreciate you all coming out. I have a friend of mine from a long time ago named Tyrone Thomas. He's a great friend, and I'm just going to let him jump in here and tell you all about him.
No problem. Again, thank you for having me.
You're
Thank you for having me. Not too much to know. Just a friendly guy. Been in the military, all of that. Public speaking. You know, I've preached. I've taught teenagers in church. But now the biggest thing, that's all the past. We want to know what's going on in the present. A lot of the times, you know, people focus on the past too much and don't know what somebody's doing in the present, because their present could be greater than their past. But right now, currently what I'm doing is I am in film school, so I'm studying movie and television production. So just like this live show right here, we'll be producing, you know, a greater show.
All right.
Doing that, I do have my company that I started, which is Life Entertainment. That is my television and production company that I started. And then I'm also working on a nonprofit mentorship called the Distinguished Gentleman. So that's something, you know, that we want to get young men involved in. It's really like the stuff that I'm writing down and the vision that I have for that is really like an exclusive club, gives them something to feel like they are a part of. You know, they're a part of something. I'm working on getting the logo and design, and then we'll have like remember on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they went to the school and Carlton and Will, they all had those jackets? Yes. The Distinguished Gentlemen will have those jackets once they become a part of that club. So also with that, I will be looking for mentors, mentors to mentor these young men, because if we don't pour into our youth and we allow the streets to pour into our youth, then we're going to continue to lose our youth to the streets. So it's time for some distinguished men to step up and be leaders and examples to these other young men. And that's pretty much all I got going on.
I like that idea of distinguished gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know, with me being a single mom and raising one son, I look for someone that would step in and help my son to become a man. I can't teach him the things that he needs to know as far as being a man, but I could teach him how to nurture. I could teach him how to love. But that part, it's almost like that was lacking when it came to me raising a son. And then where was the church? Where was the people in the community? Where was the village concept that I was looking for? Fortunately, my son is in the Air Force, and I'm grateful. He did great. But, you know, still, there's a lot of young men that are coming up under him. So that is a great idea. And I look forward to you talking more about that as it progresses.
Yeah, no problem. And you mentioned the church. You know, that's one of the things that's kind of been lacking when you look at the future generations. You don't see a lot of them in the church.
Right.
And then with things that I've seen and experienced in the church, and I understand why. And so it was kind of like, but God, you called me to this. Yeah, I called you to ministry. However, the message will be the same.
Right.
But your delivery has to be different.
Right.
Because these people have come up and they've seen what has happened in these churches behind the pulpit, and so they're not trusting that man or that woman that stands behind the podium, because then all of these scandals come down and it's like, who do I really trust?
Right.
So there has to be a different approach and a different delivery to the same message that the church is still giving, but to reach, I call them the rejects.
Okay, the rejects.
The rejects. And it was crazy that God spoke that to me. He said, no, I called you to the rejects.
Okay.
The people that's in the church, what do they need me for? They're already there. They're where they need to be to get what they need to get.
Okay.
You go to the rejects.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You go out in the world. That's you know what, and I used to tell everybody, the church is in me.
Yeah.
So no matter where I go, I'm going to be speaking about God, and you know, I'm not so necessarily preaching, because God will always put a platform so that you can share His goodness, you know. But the church is in me, so you don't necessarily have to be in the church to witness.
Right.
Out in the world, that's where our witnesses is needed mostly, right? We're out there communicating with people, sharing our light, spreading the love of Jesus from the inside out.
Exactly.
That is what attracts us to individuals to the people, the rejects.
Yeah.
And then even to significant others, which is what we're getting ready to talk about now.
Yeah. So, and I want to put the other plug in there.
Okay, go ahead.
Life Entertainment, of course, I've got 2 shows that I'm writing. One is an actual political drama. The other one, I don't know if you guys have been fans of Power, but this one will, once I get it written and we get everything in place and get the people involved, it will be a competitor to Power.
Wow.
But it does have a message to it. And then I have one that I'm really, really zooming in on, which is it's a spiritual-based movie that I'm going to write called Surrender. Okay. And so it has to do with a young lady who, she was in the church, she grew up in the church with her mother and her father, but she saw all the wrong things that happened in the church. So she turned away from the church.
Okay.
She blamed God because all of her relationships that she had wasn't working and this, that, and the other. And she became I would say a victim of the world. Okay. She did become a famous person. You know, she got a platform and she was famous, but everything around her was crumbling because she was lonely. She was like, God's not sending me that man. I don't believe in God anymore.
Wow.
And it wasn't until certain people came into her life and started to minister to her in a way that the church didn't minister to her, that she started seeing God.
Okay.
And when she truly surrendered, that man shows up.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's very powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of young women can relate to what you just said, because myself, I've seen a lot of things growing up in the church. I've seen the wrongs, I've seen the rights, I've seen the in between. So a lot of us will be able to relate to that. So kudos to you. We look forward to seeing that when it comes out.
Oh yeah. So I found out that North Carolina, and I want to say this to a lot of people who have dreams and aspirations. Wherever you are, look to see what they're offering. Because the first thing that hindered me was I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the money to produce a big time movie. And then found out that the state of North Carolina gives grants. Mm-hmm. All I got to do is write the script and submit the script. If they like the script, they give me the money. Mm-hmm. So that way we can pay the people. Then I'm working on, there's a person that's from North Carolina that I want to play the lead role. And if we get her involved, I do believe that she will, I'm not going to say who it is right now.
Yes, I understand.
But if we get her involved, I believe that she will contribute money to the project as well. So it's going to be awesome.
Man, that is awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see it. What do you all think? I'm excited. So let me say this before we get started. Thank you again so much for coming out here. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to putting your input and all the questions that I have. Okay. And also to you out there in Facebook land and then everywhere else, we look forward to you asking questions on the live. If you have anything and you want to chime in, we're going to finish one segment. And then we'll bring you in and we'll talk about what you said and what you want to say, any opinions, any input. We just want to be inclusive. We want everybody to join in and be involved and just have a good time. Laugh a little, let your hair down, drink your coffee, drink your tea. Just come on and be a part, all right? So, let's start with the first question.
All right.
You ready?
Let's get that first question.
So the first question I asked, which was on Facebook, was what makes a woman or a man attractive to you? Let's see. I'll answer that question first. Okay. For me, it is visual. Okay. Visual, I'm 6'2", so if I see a tall man walk by, don't think I'm gonna look left, right, left, right, left. No, I'm gonna follow that. Because, and if he's attractive, he's distinguished, that is attractive to me. I really like that. And that's just, for me, that's just the way to open the door. I don't know if he's attracted to me because, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to seek out a man. I'm not going to do that. Right. Because that's not my place. But I do have eyes. And I'm not saying, and I'm going to look.
I can see.
I got my eyes on you. But that's, for me, that's what makes a man attractive. His walk, his stature, his dress, his style, his physique. And I'm not saying that I'm going to knock anyone else that don't have that physique because there are genuine people that are, maybe don't have that build, so I'm not knocking no one. Right. But to me, that's very attractive. Right. Someone that can carry a conversation and talk to me as a woman and instead of, what's up?
Right.
How you doing? Hey. That's just a turn off.
That's right.
So what about you?
So for me, again, initially, it is visual. I mean, we're all visual creatures, and I say, I have this joke all the time. You know, people say, well, looks aren't everything, and you are correct. They are not. But, and I tell my nephews all the time, we have this joke, I said, but nobody wants to date a Gila monster. I mean, right. Let's just be honest. You know, right. You got the personality, you got everything that's going on, but if you roll over and I'm like, oh, God. And that's not to say that there's someone for everyone. And people have to, you know, they have to value the preferences of another person. But, you know, the looks, now you can have somebody that comes in and they look good, got it going on, you know, they, as they say, they fine. Fine. But then once you get to know them, or like you said, you want somebody to be able to have an intelligent conversation with. Right. And as soon as they open their mouth, you're like, oh, God. Mm-hmm. All that beauty suddenly goes away. Absolutely. But that comes from a mature mindset. Right. Of course, we'll get into that later on, but that does come into a mature mindset. You know, I'll go back to when you was younger. We didn't care if they was dumb as a box of rocks. Mm-mm. If they was fine, we was trying to holler. We was trying to get with them because that's what attracted us. And so, you know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people out there, because I see it all the time on Facebook. Ooh, she's so fine and she's this. And I'm like, yeah, she fine. Well, you ain't moved out. Oh, no, she good looking. But there's other things that I'm looking for outside the looks. Now, the looks attracted me, which was going to cause me to approach you. But once I approach you, and people said, well, what's going on with me? I'll give an example. It was a young lady on TikTok. Okay. And I guess she got rejected by someone. And she made a TikTok. She made a post. And she said, well, it's just his loss because I'm fine. I got nice breasts. I got a nice butt. I can cook. I can do this and all this other stuff. And she started naming all these things she could do. She was like, I can play some kind of instrument or something like that. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'm going to respond. And so I responded and I said, that's fine that you can do all of that. But in this day and age, when people are looking for someone, not just to date, but someone to possibly be a life partner, can you balance a checkbook? Right. Can you maintain a budget? Right. Are you financially stable? Thank you. You can have all of those things, but if you can't, nah, because right there, the relationship is in trouble from the start. From the start. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and you know, and that also leads to another question, like social media. A lot of online dating, and people usually put up what they want you to see, which is a facade. Exactly. So how can you get to the real person when social media just gives you a glimpse of who that person is? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. And you're exactly right. Even with social media has made it more easy to present the representative. This is not who I really am. This is who I want you to believe that I am. So it does go back to that. It goes back to, even from the standpoint of social media, you got to know what questions to ask. Because once you start asking certain questions, they'll reveal who they really are. Oh, true. They'll reveal, but you just got to know, kind of like my mother always told me that I should have been a prosecuting attorney growing up because I asked a lot of questions. A lot of the times, you don't. One of the biggest mistakes that we do make when it comes to dating or seeking someone is the word of mouth of somebody else. Because they know them, this is who you know them as, but do you really know who they are when you're not around them? Absolutely. Who is the truth then? That's right. I mean, I made that mistake. I dated people like, I listened to y'all and this wasn't, no. So yeah, you do have to ask the right question. Because with social media, you got filters and everything. Everything. That's almost like, you go old school. Social media is kind of for the younger people. Old school, that's like being in the club and you see somebody because lights is dim, probably had a couple of drinks. Yeah. They need to make it. Now turn them lights on before we go home today. Turn them lights on. And usually you're so drunk you don't know what the heck you're getting. You're getting a frog and a pie. You look at the next one. Oh, God. Yeah. We remember those days. Yeah, social media has really changed the outlook on dating. And now that we're in the midst of this COVID-19, a lot of people are relying to social media to meet people. So I can see how difficult it can be because, like you said, you're presenting that person you want everybody to see with the good hair and the attributes of a person as opposed to what's on the inside of them. Right. What my mom used to always say is you let a person talk. As much as they want to talk,
the revelation of who they really are will come forth.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Now the thing of it is if you let them talk, you have to listen.
Right, because they reveal themselves.
Yeah.
They show you who they are the first time.
They show you who they are.
Yeah. But we're just so desperate and naive because, he's there. He wants me, and, we just think we get caught in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so let's go to second. I'm going to let you ask the second question and you answer it.
What is the second question? Oh, that's what's a little deeper question you'd ask someone while on a date? So, I guess I would follow that up with a question.
Okay.
And that question would be, what date are we on? Because if it's the first date, then I'm just going to want to know a few particulars. Mm-hmm. But let's say we've been dating for a while.
Okay.
One of the deeper questions that I would probably ask is, how was your family life? Did you have a stable family life? What happened between, your mother and father? What did you see? Even if both of your parents weren't still together, if you were the product of divorced parents, mm-hmm. how did those parents treat and talk about one another mm-hmm. in separate homes?
Right.
Because it speaks to a lot to how you're being programmed when dealing with folks. I'll use a prime example because in the beginning of my divorce, divorce is never easy. Divorce, especially when children are involved, divorce is never easy. And because both people are hurt, and sometimes you don't know why you're hurt, you don't know what's going on. That's why communication is very, very key in any relationship. And so, depending on what happened or how the divorce took place, both of those parents are talking bad about one another in that other home. It confuses the children. Now, I sit up and I look at, conversations that I've had with my children as they've gotten older, and they said this and they said that, and they told me, well, we didn't want to have to choose. Well, I'm sorry that I made you feel like I put you in a position where you have to choose because you love your mother and you love your father. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, even in the midst of that, you don't want to get to the point to where your mind is programmed to, if you see this particular thing in a man or you see this particular thing in a woman, then that automatically cancels them out. So, what was your family life like growing up?
Right.
That's something that I want to know. Not that it would disqualify you, but now it kind of gives me a perception into who you are or what I may possibly be dealing with.
Right.
Should I choose to continue to pursue you and we move forward in life and actually become life partners?
Right. Stability. Yes. I guess for me, it would be more of a financial stability.
Okay.
Because of course the background, that would be number one, but I believe that a lot of that will be revealed given whatever circumstances he and I are, I see him go through. Right. That would reveal all of that. But I believe in taking my time too, though. Like I said, we talked earlier about courting, courting and dating. And I want you to give a definition because a lot of people out here don't know the difference between courting and dating. And, and I'm just going to go ahead.
I actually have, and it's the 4 stages of a relationship. Mm-hmm. There's dating, there's courting, there's engagement, and then there's marriage. Mm-hmm. So in dating, and I guess the definition that I would give is for a lot of you to understand, dating is kind of like, because a lot of people say dating and courting, isn't that the same thing? It is and it isn't. Dating is kind of like where you put a comma. Because when you date, and it goes back to communication, because a lot of people think, we're dating. So you look at speed dating, for instance.
Speed dating.
They're speed dating because they're trying to learn certain things about an individual that they will possibly choose to say, you know what, this is the one that I want to court. Court is a more deeper relationship. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm really trying to get to know you because you have the potential to become my life partner. Okay. So now I'm courting you. It's more exclusive. It's just me and you. Mm-hmm. Part of the problem, and you just have to be honest, this day and age, part of the problem is you can't go to social media, you can't turn on the TV, you can't turn on the radio without them pumping sex in your mindset. So nobody is really focused on the particulars of a relationship. All they're thinking about is how good are they in bed. so that right there, that's a big no-no.
Right.
Because they can be amazing.
Right.
They may not be amazing. But what other qualities do they possess? That's where the courting comes in. When you date, don't be trying to go to bed with a person on the first date. Get to know something about them that makes you want to come back for more. Kind of like this, and I use this as an analogy even in relationships. You see all these other cars out here, they got commercials for those cars.
Mm-hmm.
You never see a commercial for a Rolls Royce.
Well, what you say?
Because Rolls Royce has value. Rolls Royce knows what it's bringing to the table.
Right.
Rolls Royce knows that I'm the bad boy of cars, so I don't need an advertisement.
Right.
Because once you purchase me, so, that's where some people need to be. They need to be a Rolls Royce. They need to advertise all the benefits outside of going to bed with the person and this, that, and the other. To let them know, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. This is the value that I bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's where courting comes into play.
Right.
And I get it, because a lot of people are so pressured. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest pet peeves that I see, and I fuss about it all the time. You scroll on Facebook and they just talk about it. I'm like, so they don't care no more. They just put I did this last night.
Oh yeah.
That used to be private. But then it also factors into who you're attracting.
Right.
You're not going to attract that tall, handsome, distinguished gentleman when you put the stuff out there like you just,
I'm available.
You can get it anytime you want it, right?
Yeah, ready.
So it's all on how you present yourself. And so with that, you go through the day. But the biggest thing that I would say, even if you don't use what my method is the 4 stages of relationship, even if you go to the point of dating, you have to be clear on your intentions. You have to communicate. Because here's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest things that happens, because we're talking about dating, a lot of people have guards up. Mm-hmm. Because they're afraid, because they've been hurt. And the biggest thing that has happened is because, and I'll say it from a man's perspective, men know what they want, they know how to get it. They know how to manipulate situations, they know how to get it, because they'll sit up and pay attention to what a woman is saying, and they'll become that.
Right.
To get, actually, they don't have no intentions of making her a wife or this and the other. They were just after one thing.
Wow.
Make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
She might just want to get busy in the sack too, but if you're honest about it, at least now there's honest communication, and nobody's hurt in the situation, so that when the actual man that she needs or the actual woman that a person needs does show up, you're not afraid to be like, oh, let me let this person in.
Right. Well, I guess, a lot of people now, as we're living in this microwave society, they jump out of one relationship and then they jump into another without giving themselves time to heal.
Ooh, that's good.
And I know for me, I'm fresh out of a relationship. So, a lot of gentlemen have approached me. But, I'm constantly explaining, look, I'm learning a little bit about me, because I've learned there are things that I like, there are things that I don't like. There are, I guess, hot-tempered moments that can set me off.
Right.
But I would never learn these things if I have not taken this time to learn more about myself.
Right.
Sometimes the relationships work, but you end up being a common denominator as to the reason why they don't work. Right. So that's why I say you have to take the time to sit back and learn more about yourself. As I mentioned before, I was in a relationship for 7 years, and I thought, we was going somewhere. And then, all of a sudden, it was like, keep it a secret. We're not going to tell nobody. We're going to leave it, we're going to make it do what it do. And,
You throw the flag on the plate.
Red flag. So, right. So, I mean, at what point, though? Because, you're doing everything together, and then, this person didn't want to get married. I understood that, but I'm thinking a lot of women like me think we're going to change this man. He's going to love me, and he's going to want me, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and this person's everything, but I didn't see the signs.
Right.
So, I mean, how can we, just learn how to digress a little bit, instead of rush. There's a lot of people that just rush because they want to be with someone. Especially around the holidays. It's like everybody that I used to date call me and be like, hey, you busy? You all right? I just want to check on you. Can we get together? And you learn to see the signs, like I said, flag on the plate. But how can we digress from wanting to always constantly be around somebody to learning how to be ourselves, learning how to find that person that loves me. Right. Learning how to love me. A lot of people don't learn how to love themselves. Mm-hmm. I had to step back and learn what makes Leah happy. Right. What would be, maybe a point that you would give to someone out there who is dealing with the same issue?
As far as, you hit the nail on the head. You have to learn how to love yourself. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest flaws I would say in a relationship is a person not knowing who they are. Mm-hmm. Like you said, not knowing what you like, what you dislike. And then when you do that, it has to be communicated to someone that you look to as a potential life partner.
Right.
Again, in a relationship, like you said, you use that word, this microwave society. Mm-hmm. Nobody you want to know the reason why grandma's recipe was so good? Because she took her time with it.
Right.
She took her time preparing it.
Right.
She took her time, she put it in the oven, she allowed it. No, she didn't put it in the oven, she put it in the slow cooker. See, they don't put relationships in the slow cooker no more.
No, right.
Everything has to be so quick, and it's
right.
just like you said, when you get out of one relationship, you can use an example. Because what happens is, depending on the hurt that you experience, nobody, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't wish heartbreak on my worst enemy. Mm-hmm. Like real heartbreak, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Because you go through some things. Mm-hmm. And the thing is you can't jump into another relationship with someone else until you've completely healed.
Right. Because
you will damage someone else.
Right.
And I call that, that's collateral damage. Mm-hmm. Not that you intended to, but it's collateral damage. Mm-hmm. And I always use myself as an example. I had just got out of a relationship. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm over this person, I'm over. But then I was telling the person, I was like, I don't know if I want to date you or not. I don't know if I want to do this and that. Because I've been in a relationship and I've been hurt. I don't want to hurt you. So right. I'm giving you the truth. This person was actually very, very aggressive. Wow. And things kind of went, to where they shouldn't have went. Mm-hmm. A physical relationship. Right. And I'm telling you, I don't want to. I don't want to be in a relationship. Right. Now you're thinking because we were intimate and we were physically connected to one another, we're in a relationship. And when I told you, I came back and reiterated it. Right. It destroyed her. But I blame me because I was like, I never should have even took it there because I was still hurting. It was a Band-Aid. It felt good because it took away the pain. Right. But after that was gone, the pain was still there.
Still there.
And that's the problem. We don't want to go through the process of heartbreak. We don't want to go through the process of hurt. Take your time. Listen, when you learn how to love yourself, and I tell people all the time, I keep money in my pocket too. I don't have to spend. It's not even about spending money, but you learn things about yourself, and you're like, oh, maybe I need to change that because I don't even like that about me. Right. And you don't know how that's coming off to someone else. Right. Because you have to get in your mindset that you're not always right, and you said something that said, and everybody thinks that, oh, I'm going to change this man, or I'm going to change this woman. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, I said, I'm telling them in secret, when you find an immature man, I'm not just talking about a mature man, but an immature man, his goal was to get in your pants in the first place. Right. So when you make it easy for him to do that, he's already accomplished what he needed to accomplish. And he's just sticking around because of something, but at the same time, he's fooling with somebody else. Mm-hmm. The actual qualities that he wants and everything that he wants, he's getting it somewhere else. Right. Because this individual, she is waiting. She's doing the slow cooker method. So he ain't getting it from her. Mm-hmm. He's using you to get that from you while trying to make sure to get her because he knows eventually in the end, this is who I want to be my wife. This is who I want. Right. So you have to be very careful and learn how to love yourself. You'll start seeing, once you learn how to love yourself, once you learn your likes and dislikes, and again, start having a conversation with these individuals, you'll start seeing the signs pop up like, I don't know. And I say I'm a movie buff, so in the Matrix, you know how they saw stuff in the code. You'll start seeing that stuff. It'll come up like, oh yeah, nah, I ain't got time for you. You wasting my time because now you know what you want. Right.
And I always say, don't expect something to be placed on a table by a man if you can't bring it yourself. Right. There's a lot of women that want a man to take care of them. Mm-hmm. They want them to buy them this and buy them that and do this and do that, buy them a car and all that stuff. But ladies, if you're not able to take care of yourself and bring this to the table, don't look for somebody else to do it for you because that's not going to happen. You have to be able to know your self-worth and know that you're a woman of quality, and know that you have something to bring to the table, just like you said. Consider yourself a Rolls Royce. Yeah. You are a Rolls Royce. You do not have to advertise a thing. There's going to be a man that will see that diamond in you, and he will want to bring that diamond out of you. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, they're going to want to see, they're going to be, because one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I'm trying to read the comments there.
Oh, are you? It's kind of hard.
Oh, I love that. If you're looking for someone to complete you, you'll be disappointed. Be completing yourself first. That is very true. Mm-hmm. That is very true. And that's the problem. But what happens is Hollywood, TV, all these fictional relationships that are created. Mm-hmm. And I say that because I'm a writer. Mm-hmm. So I can write the baddest relationship. That relationship is not real.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
It's a fantasy. But what happens is we look to those things and we get caught up in those things. What was the movie? Jerry Maguire, when Tom Cruise was playing the agent to, I was going to call him Morris Chestnut. I can see his face. I can't think of his name right now.
But they know who you're talking about.
Right. I can't think of his name. Because he ain't done no movies in a while. I can't think of his name. But then when he got with Renee Zellweger, he was talking about, you complete me. Nah, bro. So you telling this woman that she completes you, which means you're incomplete in yourself and you're missing something. A lot of people say this, and I always disagree with them. They say, in a relationship, it should be 50-50. That relationship is doomed. Because if I'm only bringing 50% of myself and you're only bringing 50% of yourself, we're still not whole.
That's right.
It should be 100 and 100. Because that means, where are you giving that other 50% at? If you're not giving 100% of yourself to me and I'm not giving 100% of myself to you,
where is it going?
That means there's room for somebody else to come in.
Right.
So, but it comes to those cliches that we've heard over time, and we just apply those to, 50-50. No, it's not 50-50. And you said that because I saw a video and it was funny. I see people share the video all the time. And the man was kind of boasting and bragging. He was using some vocal language, talking about what he does. And for 18 years, his wife has never had to do that. And that's cool. If you got it like that to be able to take care of your family, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. But let's go back. So and then I'll hit him and I say, maybe you don't have religious beliefs like somebody else. See? And what do you mean religious beliefs? I said, so you go to church and you believe the whole Adam and Eve and all that? Yeah. Oh, okay. So God didn't design. I don't know where we got this. We heard that he's the provider, but Eve had a job. It may not have been outside the house, but she had a job. Okay. She wasn't just sitting around watching TV, getting her nails done. She had a job. So somewhere we got the concept misconstrued. Adam had a job, Eve had a job. And I use that all the time. I think that was one of the questions. I'm probably jumping ahead. But I use that all the time where people say they're looking for their soulmate. And I used to say that. But then when I started to study that word soulmate and start looking at it, I started to say, anybody can be a soulmate. Doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate partner or your wife. They can be a soulmate. And I started looking at that, and I started looking at it from the specifics of the Bible, and I said, it never said that Eve was Adam's soulmate. It was, some versions say, help me, help her. What was she helping Adam do? God gave Adam a job, so what was she really? He didn't give Adam a job. He gave Adam a purpose.
Okay.
So he said, I have to create Eve to help him meet his purpose. Where he's incomplete in his purpose, Eve comes in, which is her purpose. I said, we got to switch that word. And I ain't looking for a soulmate. I'm looking for a purpose mate.
Right.
Help me fulfill our purpose.
Our purpose.
Because once we do that, we're always working hand in hand so that the purpose is fulfilled.
Right.
Soulmate can be anybody. Soulmate can be your best friend. So now you're looking for your soulmate, then you're wondering why your purpose mate hasn't showed up. Because you're accepting your soulmate as who God intended to be for you to be with. That's not how it works. What is your purpose? And you'll know who your purpose is because everything that's aligned in your purpose, their purpose aligns right with you.
Right.
Everything you do, you ain't got to tell them nothing. They're just there. Boom, picking up the pieces.
That's right.
Where you're lacking, they're there picking it up. It's like, how do you know? Because that's your purpose mate.
That's right.
And you put the purpose mate in the friend zone and you ain't cry because your soulmate ain't showing up.
Or you get the wrong one, right? You bypass that one and you're like, we're over here with this one. You're wondering why this happened and that happened because you let that one go.
And it goes back to the Rolls Royce.
Right.
You don't have to advertise anything.
I like that.
Just be who you are.
Yes.
And the person that belongs to you will show up.
Hello, somebody. Are y'all listening to this? Well, Spirit Love said, outer beauty before you, it is about the inside out. And that is absolutely true, because you don't want to get when they say wolves in sheep's clothing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all had our share of those, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, you got to remember, you got to get to know someone. And in order to get to know someone, you got to talk to them. Communicate.
Right.
We talked about that. Communication is important. Taking the time to learn who that person is from the inside out. Like I said, the microwave society, we feel that in order to keep somebody, we're giving all ourselves to them. You don't have to do that. Just take your time to learn that person. So let's go on to the next question. Let me answer this.
She told me the name. It was Cooper Goody. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name.
Who was that? Who said that?
It was Connie.
Oh, thank you, Connie. That's
Cooper
my
Goody. I couldn't think of his name. I'm like, I seen his moments. It's just like, you have that.
Yes. Connie also said, if you're looking for someone to complete you, you'll be disappointed. Be complete in yourself first. That is absolutely true. And that goes back to what I said before. Learn yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to be happy with your own company. A lot of times we don't do that. We don't do that because we look for mates, and instead of us looking for what completes us, we think that man, or if you're a man, that woman is going to make you complete and whole, and that's not how it works. You have to be happy with who you are and learn how to love yourself.
That's right.
Okay, let's see. Did I finish all the questions so far in the comments? I believe I did. So now we're going to go on to the next question. What's the most craziest pickup line you've heard or told someone that actually worked or didn't work? Let's see. I'll answer that question first. The craziest pickup line that I've gotten was, "Girl, you must be tired, because you've been running around in my mind all night long." It made me chuckle because I'm like, I've heard that before. But, I guess when people do approach you, they're looking for ways to have a conversation with you. But that was one of the craziest ones I've ever heard, and it didn't work. But it did open the doors to conversation. It did open the doors to speak to that person, and that person get to know me just a little bit to know that, you're not for me. But it was a question that, it was a crazy question. How about you?
I haven't really heard any crazy ones. I don't like to say that I really use pickup lines. I probably have. I can't remember.
Okay.
There is one in particular that I do remember, and it wasn't like I saw her and approached her with the pickup line. It was, she approached me because what had happened was we were at a party.
Mm-hmm.
Her best friend was dating my cousin, and she brought her along with her, so she didn't know anybody. Well, the particular party that we were at, and the place that we were, there was a bunch of guys that are always, I call them agitated. They're aggravating and agitated. Okay. So they're always up in, girls' face and women's face and all this.
Yeah.
So she was getting frustrated.
Okay.
And the girl's name that was dating my cousin was Lainey. Her friend was Nisha. Lainey tells Nisha, she said, "There goes Mo's cousin right there. Mm-hmm. Go tell him to make them boys leave you alone." So she comes and approaches me, and she says, "Hey, pretend to be my boyfriend." So this is the pickup line, because I saw her. This is who she looks like. She looks like Tatiana Ali from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, and my best friend was sitting there like, okay, so what's he gonna say? I was like, I don't pretend. I mean, if I'm gonna be your boyfriend, I'm gonna be your boyfriend. And I walked away. Never saw her for the rest of the night.
Wow.
We're in high school before we were going to college. Never saw her for the rest of the night because we were at this party. Very next day, I had to work. I was working at McDonald's. That was one of the jobs I had. They pulled up at McDonald's. I'm going on my break, and we're talking, and then they say, "Oh, okay, well, we're going to leave." So as we're leaving, one of my other friends that I went to high school with, he was like, "Hey, man, some girls over there at your car, I don't know what they doing." When I get in my car, she put a note in my car talking about, "What's your phone number?"
Wow.
So I was like, okay, that works.
Okay, so, are pickup lines, are they necessary to meet someone?
Not necessarily. I think people hide behind a pickup line, and it doesn't really tell a person who you really are. Just be yourself. Mm-hmm. If someone doesn't like you for being yourself, then they were never for you to begin with. Okay. It's just be yourself. Again, you said communication, and it's just about being open and honest. Right. Of course, and I know there are certain people out there that will just tell you exactly what they want. Right. But then some people don't, because it just depends on, do you really know what you want? Mm-hmm. Because you've seen this person, they're beautiful. Do you really know what you want? Mm-hmm. So just be yourself. If you want to take that person out to get to know that person, let them know. You ain't got to use a pickup line. Mm-hmm. If they tell you no, move on. Mm-hmm. And I said, dang, they still doing that? We did that back in high school. But when men get rejected, now all of a sudden you become ugly and you the B word and all this other stuff. And I'm like, But just 5 minutes ago, you was trying to get her number. So what changed?
Right.
Of course, that comes with immaturity.
Right.
Just be yourself. And the thing of it is, the ratio of women to men is so crazy right now. If she rejects you, there's another woman out there that'll probably say yes.
Thank you. And that's what makes a lot of women fearful, because they're like, okay, well, here's my opportunity. I just missed it.
Right.
So now I don't know how long the next one is gonna take for the next man to come around. So they jump on, whatever this line that the man is giving them, and then they're unveiling all of themselves. They're telling a lot. So let me ask this question. Is there anything like too much information on the first date?
It depends on where it's going. I mean, I think that it is. I saw one of the questions that was answered in there. It was kind of the deeper question. And it was talking about, because of course you want to know what somebody's financial responsibility is. But that could be a question that either runs a person away, and the person could be very, very financially responsible.
Right.
Wait a minute, hold on. You up in my business. It's too soon for you to be. I don't even know if I want to be with you just yet. And it goes back to, like I said, it goes back to those stages. I think in the stages that I had mentioned, in the courting stage, probably leading into engagement, because now I want you to be my partner for life.
Right.
Which means I have to know what your financial stability is, or what your financial responsibility is.
Right.
Can you balance a checkbook? Can you maintain a budget? Not saying that those will be deal breakers, because here goes the thing. People can be taught. And if you're willing to learn and be taught so that we can work together in a partnership, that's not a problem. But now if it starts to show itself, so now, and here's where I really believe that information needs to be revealed. If I'm asking you to marry me, or we're going to become husband and wife, now it's almost like, nah, let me see your financial statements. Let me see this. Because now I'm putting myself in a situation, oh no, you're still financially irresponsible. We've been dating this amount of time, courting this amount of time, you do all this. You're still doing this? No, I can't be your wife. I can't. Because it's going, believe me, almost, and I forget what the statistic is, but it's in the 90s.
Okay.
Of the reason why people get divorced, it has to do with finances. It has to do with finances.
Yes. Well, you know where this leads to, right? Being equally yoked.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. And it comes to, there's a lot of people, I've seen couples, because I never really got my degree in that, but I did, matter of fact, I need to renew that certificate. I do have a certificate of counseling. I've counseled people, and it come to the point where, when they got ready to get married, well, we have separate bank accounts, I'm like, no. And there's nothing wrong with having a separate bank account, but if you're going to be equally yoked and become one, there still has to be that joint bank account that you operate out of.
Right.
I really feel like, have that personal account because you want that, but one or the other, both of you need to have access to those accounts as well. It's a trust thing. It's like building a house.
Yes.
If you don't have a solid foundation, and that foundation has to be trust.
Right.
A lot of people that I've seen in marriage talking about, I married my best friend. Well, everybody got a best friend. You tell your best friend everything. It don't matter what it is.
Right.
If your husband or soon-to-be husband or wife is not your best friend, there's a problem in the relationship right there.
Right.
Because that's the one person that you should be able to tell anything to.
And they understand.
And have your back. That's a problem. Another problem is, and I'll say that can be good or bad. It depends on those friends' intentions. Is the friends that's outside the relationship. It's only you and the other person in the relationship.
Right.
And if the friend is saying something, because I say this a lot of times, there may be things because you're too vested in the relationship and you're too close on the relationship, there's certain things that you don't see. And your friends come say, oh, I see this and I see this and I see that. They can see it because they're on the outside and they're seeing what you're not seeing.
Right.
Those are good friends to have because, they're giving you, I see these red flags, be careful. Pay attention. Then there's those friends that come out of jealousy because their entire life, they've always been the one that's been in the good relationships, had the good relationships, and you was the friend that, you couldn't keep it together, couldn't keep a man, couldn't keep a woman, behind closed doors, they laughing at you. But now you found that one. Here they come. Just pack a tail. Right. If you listen to that person, then you're going to be in that situation. Dang it, I lost a good man or a good woman. Because you married what you thought was, you married the representation of something else that you thought was what you already had.
Right.
I've seen it happen too many times. I've seen it happen so many times where people are like, you left him. Because I think Cat Williams said it best in one of his comedy specials. He said, there's no thing as a 100% of a man having everything 100%. He doesn't have it all. He said, you can go out there and be with an 80% man, and he's missing that 20%.
That 20%.
And that man, that 20% man will come along and have that 20% that you were missing.
Right.
You'll get rid of the 80% man for the 20% man and then realize when you got the 20% man, you lost everything you had in the 80% man, and the 20% man is beating your tail.
That's right. That's right.
I'm like, men do it too.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes back to, I call it the superficial stuff. You're looking at the superficial things. Kind of like, we went back to the attraction. What are you attracted about? Of course, physical attraction. But here goes the thing, because certain people say certain things. If you tell me something attracts you that can be changed, I'll say weight, for instance. A lot of people, I'm not gonna date her because she's fat. They got gyms and a diet and all of it.
Motivation.
I mean, and the thing is you just might be the key to her motivation for her to lose weight. I seen it happen. It was a young man. I ain't gonna date her. She fat. She just that the other. We seen her probably a couple of years ago. Is that the same woman you said you wasn't gonna date? Yeah, I'm gonna try to holler. She don't want you now. She don't want you now. And she look good too. And then I'm me being petty. Like I'm petty. I said, shoot, I might kind of talk to her. I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying. So those are things you got to take those into consideration.
Right.
She had his back. She was like his best friend. He didn't want her because she's
Physical
fat.
attributes.
Here goes the thing. Why are you in the relationship with her for? Are you in a relationship with her for you, or trying to impress somebody else?
Right.
Because now you're looking at. I mean, and again, everybody's got their preference, but I'm sitting up saying, don't miss out on a hidden gem just because of something like weight or physical features that they can go change. They can actually change. Like, because you don't know somebody's situation. You don't know what has happened in the past or what, but you just might be the key to that person becoming who they really were supposed to be.
Right.
You unlock their potential to be the greatest person that they were supposed to be, and then now you pass it on. And some other man or woman come along and you said, "Look like, but I liked him first."
I've been there. I'm that one.
Me too. You sit up looking like, I wasted my time with this one and I should have been with her.
Yeah, but that comes with maturity, That comes with learning life, and mistakes,
Right.
The mistakes are there to teach us,
Right.
And if you didn't learn nothing from that mistake and you end up repeating it, then yeah, you didn't learn anything. You're going backwards instead of going forwards. That's what mistakes are. They're ladders to get us to where we need to be.
Right.
Sometimes we miss that step, so you're absolutely right. Yeah, I like that. And I guess it's fair to say that, from a religious aspect, being spiritually connected, that is what we talk about when I said earlier about finding your soulmate and all that stuff and being equally yoked, because we only look at equally yoked as a relationship from a spiritual aspect, but it covers everything. It doesn't just cover being, I love the Lord, you love the Lord, let's go have a happy family. No, you said just like you said earlier, and I said too, finances, it's important to me because, I've accomplished so much, and I'm not going to lose anything behind me getting in a relationship where someone is not there to meet me. And again, you got to learn their goals. What are their visions? What are they trying to go in life? Are they even headed in your direction? Then you might want to just step back a little bit and say, well, maybe this person has a potential.
Right.
Maybe this is the person that God has for me, and he's not quite there yet, but because he has that 20% and I have that 80, or he has the 80 and I have the 20, we come together, and instead of us being one happy person, we're a powerful couple, we're a powerful husband and wife, we're a powerful relationship, and people are looking at us as being an example, and saying, wow, they are powerful, they're a team, and God speaks in unions. He gives you ideas. He is the one that opens your mind, and the things that you never thought you would be able to accomplish, you'll be able to accomplish with that person, because that person that God has given to you is the one that's saying, baby, you got it.
Yep.
You could do it. Yeah. You are who you want to be. Maybe your confidence is not as high as you thought it would be, but that man that carries that 80% where you have that 20% is making you that 100%, and you like, hey, I could fly across the sky if I wanted to.
You said that, and you said the 80. Okay, if one individual has 80 and the other one has 20, the person that has 80, now it's your job not to keep the 20%er at 20%. My job, if I'm the one that has 80%, and the woman that I vowed to marry and be with, and she only has the 20%, my job is to get her to the 80%.
Right.
It goes back to being equally yoked.
Okay.
Because at 80-20, we're unequally yoked.
Okay.
However, if I see the potential that because somebody didn't pour into you, they didn't nurture you, they didn't guide you spiritually the way you needed to be led, and that's why you're at the 20%. But I know I can get you to the 80%.
Okay.
Yeah, let's like you said, that's a powerful couple. Yeah. Now you at 20, but I get you to 80, and our 80s and 80s is matched.
Right.
We unstoppable.
But how much is too much? I mean, how can I try? Like I said before, I was in a relationship where I thought I could change this person, and it didn't happen. I was the one that ended up getting the feelings hurt. So, well, how much is too much of an anticipation when it comes to being with someone? Like I'm anticipating this person to change. How much is too much hope in a relationship?
When you start seeing them not willing to change.
Okay.
When they're not willing to change, if you can, and here's the thing, because I told someone, and it wasn't so much that you try to change them. When you find the right partner, and you see in yourself, you know what, I'm not even worthy to be with this person, but I'm willing to make the effort to change, to match, you ain't got to change nothing. They'll do it on their own.
They will.
But if you keep having to tell them to do this and do that and do that, they're not changing. And I had made a statement. It was a young woman that she was interested, and I said the thing is, now you have to accept me for who I am. Don't come in trying to change me.
Right.
I know there's things that I need to change. Let me work on that. But accept me. You know what? Coach me through the change. Don't try to demand and be a dictator over those changes. It's never going to work.
Right.
The biggest, and I look at it from a sports analogy. The coach that was always down and negative towards his team, the team really didn't perform. But the coach that went in and was positive and was coaching them and telling them, kind of like in the job, when you work with people. I remember being a manager, and I would do my one-on-ones with the agents that were under me. And I would always tell them, I would go in and tell them, because I'm looking at, okay, their numbers is making the whole team numbers look bad, and it's making me look bad in front of my boss. That's all I was focused on.
Okay.
So I'm going in and I'm hitting them with all the negative stuff. And this is what they asked me, well, what do we do good? I'm like, wow. You know what? You're right. So my approach changed as to the way that I would deal with them. To say, I'm going to give them everything that they did good. And then I'm going to ask them to show me what they think they can improve on.
Okay.
What area of opportunity can you improve in?
That's
but I didn't do this and I didn't do this. So now you see where you need to improve. It's not me showing you or telling you. You see it, and the next time around, it improves.
Right.
It's the same thing in a relationship.
Right.
Don't always beat me over the head. I may not be as good at this, and that goes to, because we've been drilled in the head that a man has to do this and do that and do this.
Yeah.
You may not be a good financial budgeter. You may not be able to maintain a budget. You might not be able to balance the checkbook. Sir, if your woman can do these things, give that to her.
Oh, that opens up a whole other can of worms. You know that, right?
It does, but I mean, if every time you turn around, you get late notices or eviction notices, this and that, because you handle it, she's your partner.
That's right.
Y'all are a team. Listen, if Michael Jordan is the best player on the team in this clutch game, and I'm Scottie Pippen, and I know that Michael Jordan can get the job done, I'm passing the ball to Michael Jordan.
Yep.
They don't get that. And that, again, that comes in, it has a lot to do with pride, men's pride. But who knows about this but you and your wife inside your home?
That's right.
Keep everybody else out of the relationship.
Yes.
Mama, daddy, best friend. Keep them out until you can work. Then because what you will have to do is you have to bring somebody in that is not biased.
That's right.
And people don't want to know, that's going to work better for you because now that person doesn't have a dog in the fight. I'm not biased, so the advice that I'm going to give is going to be advice based on from a professional level or for some level that's going to help the both of you.
Right.
Whereas if you go to mom, they're going to take, that's my baby. You're doing my baby wrong, and your baby can be wrong.
Well, my mom never took sides. And my dad didn't either.
Okay. And then sometimes you do have those people that can be impartial.
Right.
They can be like, you know what, you might be my child, but you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I can use for an example, and I wouldn't be wrong, but because it was hard on me, but because they would come to my mom. My mom would get on me, but mama, I didn't do nothing. See, I can't even get my mama to be on my side. I didn't even.
Yeah. I understand.
But it makes you to be a better man or a better woman.
Right.
When you have people or individuals in your life like that.
Right.
But so you don't want to pour too much of yourself into. And I say it like this: it's almost like a bank account. You only have so much money in your bank account. If you keep spending, and nobody makes a deposit, you empty.
Right.
So now I'm spending and spending. You ain't changed to turn around and make a deposit.
Right.
I'm empty, and then you wonder why I got an attitude because I ain't got no more to give. So that's what causes problems within the relationship.
Right.
And people see that. I think the biggest thing is their fear of being alone. Believe me, there's been times when I set up with everything that I'm doing, I'm like, dang it, it'd be nice to have my partner with me to share this idea with her, to do this. It ain't even so much about, or certain things that happen, I want to tell that person about it. I can't call nobody and tell nobody nothing. I ain't got nobody. So it does, but at the same time, it still gives you the opportunity, okay, what areas in myself do I need to work on?
Right.
So that you go back to the attraction, and people talk about energy, because there's certain energy that you will put in the atmosphere that's going to attract certain people.
Right.
So it's like, whoever you attracted, they changed my energy. I ain't attracting the right people.
Yeah. And I mean, does it matter the place where you meet someone? Do you feel?
I don't think so. I've known people that has met people at concerts, Walmart, in the park. Everybody says, and I always say this, you meet you a good girl, a good man in church. Child, the devil go to church.
Hello.
The devil goes to church. And people don't want to tell the truth. Because half the time the devil's standing in the pulpit.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to tell the truth. But
Yeah.
And that's where I was. Even in relationships, when people get hurt, there's only certain people that you'll start to trust. And now it comes to a point to where I can pick out those frauds. Like, you standing behind the pulpit, child, you a fraud. You set up trying to sleep with every woman in the church. You need to sit down somewhere.
Yeah, we seen some of that going on.
Yeah, it's and that was one of my biggest things where I had the conversation. I was really, really angry. I said, God, every man that I have chose to be a mentor to me or an influence to me ends up letting me down in some form or fashion, except for one. And then you took him off the earth. So it's like, what's the deal? I'm sitting up trusting, and this is how you know they manipulate you when their sermons and everything starts to hit on certain things that you feel like you're doing in your life. For instance, we had this one pastor who was always hitting on people, talking about, you out here doing this and sleeping with women and you ain't gonna be doing this. You sleeping with 3 different women in the church and you married. But you telling everybody else, and then when it came out, you wonder why people don't want to deal with you no more?
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
No, because you're supposed to be a leader. We ain't supposed to know what's going on behind closed doors. But if you know you're doing that, don't come across the pulpit and shut up and chastise and crucify everybody else and you doing the same thing. Go ahead and preach on something else, dog. Go on, preach Jesus and just sit down.
I have seen that too. I've seen that. But that's why a lot of people are not, we kind of shifting the conversation a little bit, but it's all related.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have turned away from the church because of what they see, what they hear, social media is putting out there. It's been going on.
Yeah.
But now that there's social media, it's more exposed now, and the information has spread a lot faster than what it used to be back in the day. Back in the day, it was just word of mouth. You heard this and you heard that and all that stuff. So, but, a lot of people do go to the church looking for someone. and now that we don't have the church to go to anymore because of COVID, a lot of ministries are out in parking lots. A lot of ministries are, from the home, the telephone, iPad, or whatever. But, it makes it very difficult to find someone, especially when you want someone that has the religious aspects that you value, Because I value a lot of things, but I do understand Satan knows what I value as well.
Right.
And a lot of times he will give you what you want, wrapped up with a pretty bow. And then you open that package and you realize this ain't it. this is not it. So it helps you to stay, prayed up. You have to stay prayed up, even as a single woman and you a single man, you have to stay prayed up and keep that connection with God going. It's important. It's important. I don't know how I can make it on a daily basis without God leading me and showing me. Even with this platform and this vision, this is not any idea of my own. Even with reaching out to you, you have so much information to give. I'm so thankful you're here. But God connected us for a reason, and this platform, it's for a reason. There are people out there in, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, they're looking for hope, and I'm here to tell you, your only hope, you can find it in Jesus.
That's true.
He is your only hope. Regardless of what you see on social media and what these pastors are doing, and what everyone else that have, this certain leadership in the church, well, regardless of what they're doing, God is your hope. He's your peace. He's your faith. He's everything. But you have to learn how to communicate with him. The more you walk and talk with him, the easier it is for you to hear his voice.
That's true. And you said about relationships and what you see on social media, which I see it and I applaud it too. But I take it as the big thing now that I see a lot of people post, I want me a Russell Wilson. I want me because Russell Wilson and Sierra. Hey, that's a good Cinderella story. Sierra was with Future. Of course, according to the media, he's a bad father, he's this, he's that. And then Russell Wilson comes along and they have this glorious life. But you have to be careful wanting what someone else has.
That's right.
Because we only see the glorious life based off of what the media puts out there for us to see. Not saying that this is happening, but it has happened in so many situations where women will be out there and in fear of their life, thinking that they're with a great man. So in front of the cameras, they're portraying this happy family. But behind closed doors, he's kicking her tail.
Yeah.
Like she's a professional wrestler or a boxer. So she's really not happy.
Yeah.
But when the camera is on, so you have to be careful. Again, you have to go back to have, in the church saying it was a cliche, what God has for me is for me.
Right.
Then accept that.
Yes.
Stop wanting what someone else has because you don't know what they have to go through to keep it. You don't know what they have to go through to maintain it.
Right.
And start saying, I want what God has for me, what God has designed for me in my purpose.
Yes.
And when you start doing that, it show up.
That's right.
Even if you look like Steve Urkel. And I'm using that as an analogy, and I always use that as an analogy. I said because the thing of it is, if you look at family, and I watch Family Matters, I get a kick out of it and laugh, but I watched it and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, wow, they were really telling a story here. When they were little kids, Steve fell in love with Laura.
Right.
And he literally and really and truly was in love with Laura Winslow.
He was. Yes, he was.
It didn't matter how many times she rejected him. Steve was in love with Laura. Yes. Laura went through all these boyfriends that treated her bad.
Surely did.
Till Steve created Stefan, and even Stefan was Steve. He was just he was a different part of Steve.
Right.
Stefan ended up going away, so Laura finally realized, oh, you know what? I'm in love with Steve.
Yeah.
And after she fell in love with Steve, Steve's out in space, lost in space.
Yeah.
So you lost this whole time. You could have had all that, but so you have to be careful. Even though they look like Steve, I mean, come on now. Listen, you take the glasses off, dress Steve up, this and that. I'm just using that. He becomes Stefan.
Yes.
Some of y'all got some Steves that can be Stefan, but you keep rejecting Steve. You better go on and get you a Steve. I'm telling you.
Come on now, where you at, Steve?
It was the episode where the last episode I saw, and I was like, wow, that was really, really powerful. Where they was doing it was a Christmas episode, and I think they were throwing away trash and giving stuff to charity and all this. And Eddie threw away Laura's doll. It was a rag doll, didn't have no eye, it was dirty and dingy.
Mm-hmm.
He threw it away. Laura was mad at Eddie for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm. Steve
went to the dump and dug through the trash to find this doll. He said it took him about 18 hours.
18 hours.
Child, that's love right there.
Yeah.
He jumping in the dumpster.
Yeah.
He really loved that woman.
Yeah.
Y'all better get y'all a man that's willing to jump. I'm just saying.
Well, it's too late, huh? Steve was out of space. Don't be like Laura, okay?
After he proposed, he did propose, and she said him and Stefan both proposed.
Uh-huh.
I think she accepted, but Steve had proposed when they were younger, and he used the same ring that he proposed to her when they were younger to propose to her as they were older.
Right.
And she's like, oh, I'm in love with Steve, and this, that, and the other. And then Steve went on this space program and got lost in space.
Wow.
I said, Lord have mercy.
Wow.
You done lost your man, girl.
Yeah, you sure did. Well, this has been fun. This has been entertaining and a lot of laughter, a lot of flags on the flag. But you know, we talked about so much, and we hope we covered a lot. And if you all have any questions, I'm opening it up for anybody that has any questions, anything they want to say, any questions you want to ask personally to me or to my friend Ty. We're here and we're willing to share with you. And like I said, we're just talking basically relationships in the midst of a pandemic. This is what, the platform that God has given me. And like I said, Tyrone has his own platform, and we're here to share because there is no bigger you or better me and little you. There's nothing like that. We want everyone to grow together. This is, I think Spirit Love can relate. This is all about love. I love you, you love me, and together we gonna make this thing happen, right? So, if you have any questions, we want, you to go ahead and put them out there, or, if not, I know we've been on here for an hour already, and it went longer than we thought we was gonna have. So this has been fun. It's been very informative, and, we have a lot to talk about, and, so what else you want to say? What do you want to say about it?
It was fun. Like I said, it went longer than anticipated, but I kind of expected that.
I didn't.
It's just, you get to talking about so many things.
Yeah.
I know there's people that do have questions. A lot of times, I think that would have made it longer. Mm-hmm. Different questions. And one of the things that I was going to put out there like that. This is not y'all remember the episode in Martin when Martin became the love doctor. This not.
Is that who you are?
No, I'm not the love doctor. I'm not going to give you no advice and you get into something and then you come blame me. No, but I can only tell you what I've experienced and the things that has happened in my life. One of the things, and I'll speak to it from the aspect of men. Men, don't go out here deceiving these women if you don't have good intentions towards them, because you're making it hard on a man that actually does have good intentions for her, because now she's closed off and she can't receive her purpose mate that God has for her, because now that trust factor is not there.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I appreciate you saying that.
It's a matter of being honest.
Honest, that's all it is.
And the thing is, because I see it on social media all the time, men will come in, I say it because I'm a man, I've done it before. Mm-hmm. When all I wanted was sex. Pretend a relationship.
Yeah.
When I should have just been honest and said, this is what I want.
Right.
Because once you do that, you take away the power and option for that woman to say no. Mm-hmm. Because now she's believing you want a relationship with her. When really all you wanted was sex. Mm-hmm. Listen, if you look at social media, there's plenty of women out there that want to give you some. Mm-hmm. Go pursue them. But a woman that wants to be in a relationship, a woman that wants to be a wife, a woman that wants to come together with a man and partner with that man and build something, don't do that to them. Because there's a man out there that's looking for that woman. Mm-hmm. And because you've damaged her, now you've made it hard on him.
Yes.
So, that's I just want to say that. And ladies, believe me, Prince Charming is still out there.
Chivalry isn't dead.
He may not look like you think he ought to look, but he's out there.
Hey, he look like Steve Urkel.
He might look like Steve Urkel. But listen, at least he ain't looking like Shabba Ranch.
Oh, Lord, Jesus.
Or Flavor Flav.
I was about to say, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, boy.
But somebody loves Flavor Flav. I know Flavor Flav might not be your favorite.
That television show, the girls was going crazy.
Going crazy.
Well, let's see. We got some comments. Spirit Love put 3 hearts. Thank you. We love you, sis. Retha Meredith said that, and this is my aunt, enjoy the conversation. Stephen Brown said, very good talk show. He rated a number 5.
But 5? You got 5 stars?
You got 5 stars, not 4 or 5.
And Stephen, I appreciate it.
That's a good brother, too.
42 years.
Yes,
now, see, 42 years. See, we need people like you on the shows just to give, and it goes back to this microwave mentality. I looked at my grandmother and my grandfather, and some of the stories that I heard them tell us as the children and the grandchildren, I'm like, boy, today's relationship wouldn't have made it.
Right.
But that's what love really is, a strong foundation, and not really telling his business like that. Both of them dead and gone now. I miss him dearly. But granddaddy was a strong alcoholic. Right. But grandmama loved him so much that's where, you come in there, she took care of everything. Wow. She took care of everything till he got herself together. So sometimes you got to see if that person is willing to make that change. Mm-hmm. Don't jump ship.
Yeah.
Don't jump ship. Because see, what you're doing is you're pouring into that person and grooming them for somebody else. Then you're going to be sitting over there mad after you done did all that grooming.
That's right.
And then somebody else that don't really appreciate who he or she is gets that individual. Mm. Somebody else said something.
Mm-hmm. Somebody else, Steve Bryan said, right on.
Right on.
We thank you for your 42 years of sharing them with us, because like you said, we need people with the seasoned relationships to teach our younger folks how to stay in the relationships. Yes. They don't know it. They miss the ingredients to a long-lasting relationship. It's always like we talked about earlier, that microwave, mm-hmm. that we want that now gratification without the circumstances. Buying a cow, not buying a cow.
But you want the milk.
Yeah,
It's also, and again, it's about the influence. When you listen to the music, now granted, we had some crazy music, but coming up, my mother taught me that it was entertainment. It wasn't to be considered for real life. I listened to all kinds of NWA and Ice Cube and gangster rap. That didn't mean I wanted to go out here and shoot up somebody's house or shoot up somebody. Because it was music to me, it was entertainment. But they were rapping about what they actually experienced.
Right.
I don't experience that. I'm not going to go out there and do that.
Right.
But as time goes on, again, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to start the Distinguished Gentleman. Mm-hmm. Because and I say this, and I didn't want to put a race on it, but I said our young black men mm-hmm. don't have role models.
Right.
They don't have positive role models. Right. So I really want to start it for them. One of the things was, I had a lot of volunteers, and I don't know. Again, it may be spiritual, but you try energies, and I'm like, you can now. I don't even want you volunteering because I already know that your intentions aren't good. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get into the program because, believe me, there's going to be a lot of single women with sons that will be a part of the program. Right. Your intention ain't to be a mentor to the boy. It's to be to the mom.
Right.
Which is one of the things that I'm kind of writing in the rules and regulations of being a part and being a mentor in that program. Yeah, okay, so if you're trying to get with, that goes both ways. The mama, because you lonely, you say, this is good, but no. As soon as you do that, we pulling your child out the program. Right. As soon as you do that, you can no longer be a part of a mentor for the program. Mm-hmm. Because again, we're trying to heal and move forward and instill good values into these young men. Let them know, listen, when you look at a woman, that's a young lady, that's a woman. Regardless of the music you hear, the things that you see, you have to respect them as such. You want somebody to respect your mother, your sister, your auntie, all them other people, those women in your family. You want them to respect them. You have to respect them as such. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not only, you're bringing the family together. You're bringing communities together. You're slowly getting back to that village concept.
Exactly.
That has been lost over the years.
Exactly. And you said, okay, see, you all them, you've been looking at my notes.
Hey, very nice.
You've been
thank you, Lord.
Because one of the things is not only that. What is the reason why the father isn't in the home? Let's find out.
Right.
Because I just really believe that a strong family, especially with a young man, when he sees his mother and father together, he sees his father loving his mother the way that she's supposed to be loved, that's going to give him an example of, this is how I need to treat these women because my daddy loved my mama like that. So it's not just a mentorship, and I call it the Distinguished Gentleman, and I was going to put an age limit on it, but then I said, there's no age limit because there's even people that may be older than me that needs influence.
Right.
I've been influenced by people that were younger than me, and I'm like, wow. So, it's just, it's something that needs to be done to help our community.
Mm-hmm.
And once we help our community and understand the power that we have in the community, then we can start taking our power back.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And we've lost that too.
Yeah, we lost power. I just remember growing up, and it was so crazy because, like I said, when I grew up, I know where I grew up. I know there was a lot of people there that were racist, but the community that I grew up in, you would never know. You knew who the racist was, but everybody else, we were a community. It didn't matter what color you was, white, black. It didn't matter, and we've lost that but the foundation and the backbone of that community was the black family.
The black family.
It was the black family. Yes. And the other family will say, oh, and my mother was telling me, and I was like, I don't remember. But she was telling me the other night, she said, you don't remember the lady that said, I see the bond, the connection, the relationship that you and your son have, and you discipline him when he needs to be disciplined? And she said, that's giving me, encouragement to do the same thing with my child. And she said, it was an older white lady. I said, I don't remember that lady. I said, I don't remember. I said, but if you say, she's like, yeah. I said, okay, so they saw. Wait a minute, this works. We ain't got to go, well, now, they used to beat us. I ain't even going to lie, they would beat us.
Let's talk about that. That brings back bad memories. No, I was a good child. I was. It only took my mama once to whip me, and then that was it. I was like, I ain't getting this no more. But I did get, I did get disciplined on some other things. But that whooping, that was enough.
It's a good, Barry, listen here, you talking about Barry White. Barry White will get you in trouble. See, that's why y'all been together for 42 years.
Kids you got.
but you're right. And I listened to it. I'm like, how do these kids listen to it? And it's so funny because I'm like, I'm becoming my parents.
Yeah.
How do these kids listen to this?
Yeah.
What are you listening to?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that commercial where it was a guy and he had all these young adults that are, you're my age, and he's like, they're in the store shopping, and it's a guy with like red hair, and he's standing there. Don't say nothing. We all see it. Because we're becoming our parents,
right.
and it's because what they instilled in us is coming out, the good, the bad, and all that stuff. It's coming out in opportune times, and sometimes we have to step back and say, okay, I can't do this like my parents. I gotta look at it from a different perspective because this is a new day and time,
right.
But yeah, let's see. My Aunt Vera said, good entertainment. Thank you so much, Yeah, we're here to, it's time out for television as usual, entertainment as usual. We're here just to change the atmosphere a little bit. Like I said, we're all locked up in COVID, during this COVID pandemic. You're going out looking like you're about to rob a bank, you got a mask on and everything. So,
which is dangerous for us.
Yeah, thank you.
That's dangerous
Thank you. Can you imagine, getting pulled over and the cop coming and you pulling your mask up? We already at risk.
Already at risk.
Yeah.
It was cold. I'm like, I can't even put my hoodie up with the mask on.
Right. But that's like a different topic. We're not going to get into that. But
that's for another show.
Yes. And like I said, this platform is going to cover a whole lot. We want to go into several communities, not just black communities, because we are in a universal environment. This is a universal planet, and you're dealing with different races and different ethnicities, and you want to be able to, come together with everyone. We had enough of division for a long time, and now it's just time to come together because you're going to need one another. It's all about love, and Diane, again, the spirit of love, she teaches that in her life. It's all about love, love, pouring out love continuously, and when you have Christ, I'm not trying to preach or nothing like that, but when you have Christ on the inside, that love is second nature.
Oh, yeah.
It's second nature. You'll be able to love even your enemies, turn the other cheek. Now, I don't know, I might not turn the other cheek, but, you would, it becomes easier to do it because of the simple fact that God is a God of love. Right. And he's all about showing, even throughout the whole Bible, he shows and displays his characteristics through love. So if we believe in Christ and we want to walk in his, in his image and be like him, we need to be about love and sharing it and giving it, and not turning our backs on one another. Everyone has a valid point. Everyone has a valid position. Everyone has a reason and a purpose in our lives. So we need to be able to just listen to these people and talk to people and just, like I said, just show that love on the inside, So.
Right.
So, you ready to just end it now? Or do you have anything you want to say?
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's I was just looking at what everybody was saying. Somebody was giving a comment.
Oh, yes, they.
But I don't know what the comment was to. I don't know. That's kind of funny when you do the live that you try to pay attention to the comments.
Right. But
eventually, it just, we're going to have a studio audience and all that stuff.
We're working on it.
Once COVID is over.
This is the second episode, so we're pretty much learning as we go. And like I said earlier, we really, really thank you for being our audience for today and letting us just talk freely. There is no right and there's no wrong answer. We just want to share with you what we know from experience, right? Right. Yeah, and maybe just help each other. We all need each other in this day and time. So, that's pretty much what we're here for. And if there's anybody that, wants us to cover a topic, we may not have all the answers, but we sure will bring it to light. And we'll put it out there on the platform, and we'll let everyone else answer the question, and we'll try our best to answer it as best as we can. That's what this platform is for. It's for us showing you and you telling us and teaching us and sharing. We're just sharing with one another. That thing is reciprocating. It's just all love here. So, yeah, we want to thank you. And is there anything you want to say before we end this live video?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. You're my brother.
I did say, I mentioned to you, I said, we going to mess around and be the Black Ryan and Kenny.
Oh, watch out now.
It is something, to give people information, things for people to turn to. Social media has now kind of become the platform and the catapult for a lot of information. People, they're not watching the news anymore.
No,
they're watching TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Exactly. So, of course, this is kind of the beginnings, but eventually we'll set it up where there's an audience from Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube, just so it can reach everybody. Right. But one of the biggest things that I was going to say is just be on the lookout. Actually, if you're in the Charlotte area and you are aspiring to be an actor or anything like that, again, Life Entertainment, that's my company that I've started. I will be looking for actors and different people of that nature. They may be able to be a cinematographer or something like that, working towards that. But just to give people the avenue that, again, when I said in the beginning about how I was called to the reject, that's not just from a spiritual aspect, from a church aspect, wherever you've been rejected from. So here's the thing as far as acting, you ain't even got to have experience. If you can take direction, we going to get you to where you need to be.
I like that.
We gonna get. It's all new to everybody. We all just doing this, and of course, I'm going to school for it because I know, I can do it hands-on and be self-taught. But the school that I go to, the neat thing about the school that I go to is that the instructors actually work in the industry.
Wow.
So they work in Hollywood. Like one of my instructors now was the cinematographer. He was the cameraman for a movie. It was done in the '80s called Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
One of the instructors that I had before, she's worked with Ryan Coogler and different other people in the Marvel universe, and so I'm like, okay, this is neat. These are the people that I need to be learning from because they've done it. They had the experience, so they want to take their experience. Of course, they're taking their knowledge and everything and making money off of it, but teach me.
I know that's right.
Let me learn.
Great
and
stuff.
So then we give it back to somebody else. Again, that's how you boost the community. It's not about, one of the things that I learned in the class is that it's not about creating the movie to get the Oscar or this, that, and the other, but it's to get the information out there. I said that I actually have another show, and it's going to be kind of like, I know a lot of people saw All Eyes on Me with the Tupac story. There's a guy out in Wisconsin. He's a cosplayer. When he dresses up, I'm like, you sure you're not Tupac's son? Like, he literally, I put a side-by-side picture out there of Tupac and the guy, and they thought both of those pictures were Tupac.
Wow.
One was him. So working with him and other people, I do have to go to New York because we actually want to get the story. So the only person that we know that is still alive is actually Tupac's sister.
Okay.
So we want to do. I want to do kind of like a docu-series or something called Tupac Amaru Shakur, which is his actual name. Mm-hmm. You get the story that you didn't hear in the media and everything else. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that we want to do. But we just want to, provide opportunities for people to give them a positive aspect in life, to give them a positive outlook and an outlet to do something creative and positive. A lot of you, people that have creativity and nobody's giving them an opportunity. Because one of the biggest things that I say, like you said, sharing the platform, right. I always say this, and I came up with this, I would rather have collaboration over competition.
Right. And the good thing about what you do is that you're taking what you learned and you're bringing it back to the community. Yeah. A lot of people don't do that. They forget about us little folks down here, right. But my motto is each one teach one, each one reach one. You always got to come back and drag someone else along with you. You never want to overlook anybody because the same person you met going up is going to be the same person who's going to go past when you're going back down. So you always want to make sure that you're reaching the past. And it's good to go back to the past to reach everyone, but not to go back to the past to repeat everything, So, go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you. I have a daughter that's in the Army. Actually, she's in the Reserve, and I have 4 that's in the Air Force. So, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming in and being involved and asking questions and sharing your marriage and everything like that. So, thank you. Go ahead.
Ebony Goldwire, she is the devil.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I saw that.
Wait a minute.
It went kind of south. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything about that, but
I'm sorry that you experienced that. Maybe I'm calling in some of my spiritual.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pray for her. We're gonna have to pray for her.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we're about to end. We're way over time, but it's okay. It's been good talk, great talk, and we thank everyone that has come up, came on and watched us and put in your input and like I said before, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you.
You really, really helped it, go along, and we shared a lot. We talked a lot. You had a lot of input, and this better not be your last time on this show.
It won't be my last.
Okay.
I'm telling you, what I'm doing like I'm saying, look, we're gonna produce this show right here. We're gonna have all kinds of guests.
Okay. Yes. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. I really am. So hey, we love you all, and your information. Where can everyone reach you to be a part of? And also, let me ask this: will this the distinguished gentleman, will it be only locally here in North Carolina? Or are you looking to build?
I'm glad you asked that. I want it to be something that's global.
Okay.
So I want to start it headquartered here in North Carolina.
Okay. And
get it built up. And then, of course, I do have people. I'm originally from Kentucky, so I do have people in Kentucky that want to be a part of that. And I want to get them, like, look, I can't be in 2 different places. Right. So once I get it established here and go there and get people that I can trust, and then just move it around. So anybody that, wants to be a part of that, or even thought about and didn't know how to get it started, I mean, there's your opportunity to actually jump on board as far as, connecting with me. You can connect with me on social media, Ty Thomas on Facebook.
Okay.
Underscore Mr. T Thomas on Instagram.
Okay.
I forget what name I have on Twitter.
Okay.
But let me see.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Okay.
So it's at Mr. T Thomas on Twitter.
Okay.
So those 3 places, you can meet me on that. You can send me an inbox, or you can email me at I'm going to give you my Life Entertainment email.
Okay.
Because I do check that more often.
Okay.
So it's Life Entertainment, but it's spelled LIF, and then entertainment, the number 4, and then productions@gmail.com.
I hope you all got that, and if not, we will be putting that on this live chat so that you all can get into contact with Tyrone and be a part of his distinguished gentleman, and even the acting portion of,
Because the distinguished gentleman is going to feed into the acting. You want to give them avenue. There's plenty of people out there that aspire to be actors different other things of that nature. And a lot of times what happens is they get bullied into, oh, that's sissy, this, that, that. But no,
absolutely.
I mean, you look at a lot of the actors. One of my favorite actors, he started out in the Boys and Girls Club of America. That's Denzel Washington. So,
favorite.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things, even within the Distinguished Gentleman, because I'm working with different people trying to get in other people's ears, to have him come in and be a keynote speaker. I'm like, that would be awesome.
Yes.
That would really, really be awesome.
Yes.
And I was like,
I made it claim it. That's what we
oh, yeah. And I was like, I've never really been starstruck because I've met a lot of celebrities. Mm-hmm. But I was just talking to my daughter when we were traveling, and I was taking her back to Tennessee. We were listening to Michael Jackson. I said, I've never really been starstruck. Michael Jackson was probably one of the ones I would have been starstruck about. Really? I said, I probably would have passed out like the rest of them. you watching the concerts, they're like, Michael, and they pass out. Yeah. But you see the price of them tickets? Yeah. You better wake up. Yeah. But yeah, Michael Jackson probably would have been one of the entertainers. We started watching a lot of stuff. For her to be 15 and just, Dad, I want to listen to Michael Jackson. Yeah. Or, Dad, I want to listen to Prince. Or, Dad, I want to listen. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You ain't got to listen to all that other stuff that I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, thank you.
So, but we just want to be an influence to the younger generation. They are our future.
Yes, they are.
So if we don't pour into